right, we are live. I just need the video to connect on YouTube so I can grab that link and put it in our community because it makes it easier for our group to join us in the live comments. In case they did not want to be in studio or didn't make the deadline to be in studio, like to Ray and Dr. Toya and Debbie and Dr. LaFera and Kimberly and Shawana and Dr. Tachi are live in studio with me right now. So our community can join us in the comments, the live chat. Okay, boom. There we go. That has been shared. Let me situate this where I can see the chat. Cool beans. All right. You need to be in our group, especially if you are a solopreneur entrepreneur that is struggling to get to your first six figures in business. That is exactly who our group supports. So you need to go to shaycannon.info/group, sign up now. We have three pillars of value. Number one, we actually commune, we come together. Number two, we actually collaborate. We make each other's businesses better and we make money together. And number three, we have conversations that are transformational to your business growth. So yeah, we do a lot of stuff that will benefit you and your business and helping you get to your first six figures. So you need to be in that group, shaycannon.info/group. It's free. No reason why you shouldn't be there. Okay. So join it. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. I am Shay Cannon, your host of Good Morning. Welcome to the Unlock Your First Six Figures Morning Show. It all starts with a blog, and this week's blog is at shaycannon.com/executive. Okay, and I said that very clear. That wasn't even Alabama, so hopefully you know how to spell that. Executive. See? No trace of Southern accent at all. All right, because we're talking about master these four executive functions for entrepreneurial success. This week, we're talking about soft skills. Okay. So sometimes it's just all about strategy. Most of the time, it's all about strategy. But I got to get you back to the soft skills that are the backbone and the back. We're going to say the foundation of how you run your business. Okay. Because these things are important. Overcoming obstacles. I'm going to say even overcoming obstacles that you won't have because you're doing these things. Okay. So you'll be overcoming and not even knowing, and also overcoming the ones that you see coming towards you because you have a baseline, a foundation of great soft skills, great thinking. Okay. So visioning was part one. If you need your basic visioning, your clarity, okay, where it all comes from, that's visioning. If you need help with that, you need to go back to yesterday's replay. That was part one. Today is part two, and we're talking about the executive function of strategic decision making. Okay, strategic decision making. For most of us, we're the only one in the business. So we're the doer and the decision making. Okay. So we have so many decisions to make that you could really get decision fatigue. But let me tell you how not making a decision is still a decision. All right. So we have to make the best decisions for our business, especially for the resources that we have. Okay. So you can't afford to slack on the decisions. Now, I don't want you to be afraid to make a wrong decision. Just, hey, dust yourself off, get up, and let's make a better decision. All right. But decisions, okay, we're just going to go to the bare bones of it, right? It involves the act of considering different paths and settling on a direction that will shape your business's trajectory. Okay. That's what it is. Okay. Sometimes it's A or B. Sometimes it's A through J, right? Sometimes it's not as simple as two things that you're deciding between. But basically, our decisions are what make our business what they are, right? So we can have a vision, but if we don't make decisions based on that vision, the execution and the decisions we make are actually what are going to build the business into what it is. In fact, I don't want to step on any toes, but let me tell you like this. If you don't like the business that you have, it's because of the decisions you have made. I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna go deeper because I mean I'm already stepping on your toe. Let me just go and hit that pinky toe real quick. If you don't like your life, okay? If you don't like your life, then you don't like the decisions you've made. So if you want a different business, if you want a different life, we make different decisions. Okay. Now, That's everything that was in the blog post. Basically, excelling in making decisions can drastically influence the triumph of the initiatives or the goals, and optimize the application of your resources, okay? Part of this function is strategic planning, which entails constructing decided, detailed schemes for reaching your business aspirations, all right? So, good morning, Shantali, over there on YouTube. Let's give you more, because you know on the morning show we give you more. So, strategic decision making, why is it important? Well, I just stepped on your toes and told you why, but let me come back off them toes a little bit and tell you some more reasons, okay? The strategic decision making ensures that decisions align with your business goals, okay? Not just decision making, strategic decision making. Where do you get the strategy? From your vision. You see how this is building, okay? Strategic decision making helps you manage risk and capitalize on opportunities. It facilitates efficient use of your resources. Let me tell you how when you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of time, that is the time to make the strategic decisions, baby, okay? You don't have time to make willy-nilly decisions. So we got to make strategic decisions. They guide the business towards sustainable growth. Our goal is to live to fight another day, okay? Make decisions that will allow your business to be here tomorrow, okay? Enhance competitive advantage. I'm going to keep telling y'all about them USPs, those unique selling propositions, okay? You should be making decisions that are along with the vision, but also what is the way that you stand out? What are your unique selling propositions? I told you yesterday, I'm going back to the drawing board to make sure I'm pulling mine out. I feel like I'm looking too much like everybody else. And when I went back to the drawing board, y'all, to the vision, I realized I wasn't talking about freedom enough. That's one of my unique selling propositions, that I can live anywhere in the world. Every business coach is not doing that. Every business coach can't do that, right? So that's one of my unique selling propositions. I need to get back to the fact that I want to help you grow your business and create ease and freedom in your business, okay? So that's why it's important. How do you achieve strategic decision making, okay? Now, it's funny because I gathered this information without remembering. I have a signature way that I make decisions, okay? So I'm going to give you what I had ready for the show notes, and then I'm going to give you my signature of how I make decisions. Because let me tell you, I am a decision maker. It don't bother me at all to make a decision. Now, if you're into astrology, okay, I am a Libra. Libras are not just known for balance, they're known for indecision. Well, that ain't the type of Libra I am, okay? I think that Virgo comes into that cuffs with that perfectionism. It's like, nah, it's that. It's clear as that, okay? So for my decision making, I actually have to do something else for you humans. I actually have to act like I don't know what the choice is yet, sit there and act like I'm considering, and then tell you what I knew was the answer right when you said it. Why? Because you humans get your feelings hurt when I give you an answer that's not what you wanted to hear, and you feel like you can say, oh, you didn't even think about it. Think about it. I thought about it. I knew my answer was no when you said it. But now, what do? For the humanity of it all, I just wait a minute. I'm like, okay. No, I don't think no. So I spare your feelings and don't give you that no right off the bat. But, you're going to get that no, though, because I knew right when you said it. Nope. So for my show notes, it's the we're going to say signature version is gather relevant information, evaluate your options, involve key stakeholders. We've been talking about stakeholders a lot, okay? Because in business, that's what you come into contact with, right? Because in business, it's no longer just your life where you are disregarding others if you want to. Okay. In business, you have to regard those that are stakeholders. What are stakeholders? Again, it is a person that has a vested interest where they will have something to gain or something to lose. That is a stakeholder. Okay. Now, so you have to involve key stakeholders, make informed decisions, and monitor or review your decision. All right. So that's from my notes. Okay. I'm even going to show you my notes. So, because I know that was a lot. Okay, hopefully it's showing you the notes and not my boyfriend. Yes, showing you notes. So see, This is what's going to be in your show notes. Gather relevant information, okay? Evaluate options, involve key stakeholders, make informed decisions, and then monitor and review your decision, all right? So that's from the notes, but I reached into our quarterly CEO productivity membership where I shared my key signature formula for making decisions. So the 7 what's of decision making is my formula, okay? Whenever I have a decision to make, and let me tell you how this does not take me long, y'all, okay? So for you, it's probably gonna take a little practice. But the first thing I decide is, what's the deadline to make this decision? Because guess what? I don't have to make every decision right now. So what's the deadline for me to make this decision, okay? Or what is the deadline for the impact of the decision? Second, what is the goal of this decision? Because see, sometimes I have to remember the goal, right? Because y'all know I'm quick on the trigger with them no's, baby. Boom, no, 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 no. And no is a complete sentence. But if I need to say yes because of the goal, not just what I want, that's why I have to remind myself, what is the goal of this decision? Is the goal for me to be happy or to be right? Oh, I know that stuff don't, okay, I'm gonna back off y'all toes. I'm gonna back off y'all toes. All I'm saying is, what is the deadline? What is the goal? Okay. Then what is all the information that's available? Okay. So it's not just relevant. No, I need all the information so that when I make my decision, I have already considered everything. Let me tell you something about me and relationships or me as a parent. If I ask you a question, that's your time to give me your input. Okay. Because once I make this decision, baby, you're going to need the Supreme Court to reverse it. And maybe even then I might not care. All right. So if I ask you a question, that's your time to give me information to consider. All right. So is all available information? Okay. What is all of it? Number 4, what are my blind spots? Okay. What can't I see? Okay. What can't I see? What information may I not have? Okay. That is obvious to me. What are my blind spots here? All right. Then what are the resources that I need? If I make a decision this way, what resources do I need to be successful? If I make decisions this way, what are my resources? Okay. Some of y'all are making decisions based on resources you don't have. Cut it out. Okay. Stop making decisions based on resources you wish you had, resources you might have in the future. What you got right now? Okay. What are the consequences of my decision? Again, some of y'all are making a big deal about something and it ain't even a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Remember the saying, did you die? But did you die? Right? So if you ain't finna die, it is okay to make a mistake. Okay? If nobody else is gonna die, it's okay to make a mistake. Every decision you make is gonna give you valuable information. That information is either gonna be, nope, don't do that shit again. Okay? Or the information is gonna be, yes, you're on the right track. All right. So you just need to know what are the consequences. This is where backup plans may come into play. We're going to say yes to this, but just in case we should have said no, we're going to put these things in place. Okay. Last but not least, what empowerment do you have to make the decision? Some of y'all over there worried about decisions that's not even your decision to make. Grown parents of grown kids. It ain't even your decision to make, right? So cut it out. So these are the things that I consider when making a decision. So what is the deadline? You see these? How long do you have to make the decision? Who gave the deadline is a good one because sometimes, let me tell you how your deadline, not my deadline. Okay. Is it flexible or is it firm? Do you have time to get a second opinion? Okay. Some of y'all got access to me and you over there worrying about decisions that all you got to do is come to me so I can go and tell you no and empower you with my no. Okay. Come get my strength. I said no. Okay. What is the goal? Do you know the desired outcome? Do you understand the expected outcome? All right. What is all available information? What is the initial information? Have you gotten information from all the people involved? Is there documentation available? Is there technology trail available? Okay. Sometimes y'all are relying on he said, she said, when there's something out there that shows exactly what was said. Okay. Roll the video, R. Kelly. I'm just saying. Okay. What are your blind spots? What gaps do you see? What information is missing? Whose version is missing? What documents are missing? All right. What are the resources needed? What team member support do you need? What technology do you need? What budget do you need? What tools do you need? Okay. What are the consequences? What's the pros and cons, ladies and gentlemen, right? Consider the consequences of not doing something, not just the consequences of doing something. Let's see, what empowerment do you have to make the decision? Is it a part of what is expected of your role? Should you make this decision alone? Do you need permission to make the decision? Some stuff is over your pay grade and you should not be the one making the decision. Put it back where the power is. Okay. So when I go through all 7 of these, then what I do is I make a decision. I create a backup plan. I implement the decision. I monitor the decision to see, was it a good one? Is it a bad one? Should I put the backup plan into process? You know what I'm saying? Do I need to I adjust the decision as I need to? And if this decision involved other people, I give a status report on the decision. Okay. And that's even my children. When I used to make decisions for my children, we made the decision. I used to come back and say, hey, by the way, when I told you no, Mike should have said yes to this because this is what happened. Or, hey, I told you no because of this, and this is what happened. Okay. So I'll include all of that in our show notes for today for you. So what I want to know from our panel is our in-studio guests. What I want to know from you guys is, what are some decisions that are hard for you to make in your business? Okay. What are some decisions that are hard for you to make in your business? And if there are none now, tell me some from the past, because trust me, when we first started this entrepreneur journey, some stuff was a little harder than they are now since we've been in this thing for a little while. I'm going to start with Cheryl. Cheryl, give me some examples of some decision making that may have been hard for you in the past or may be hard for you now.
One of the decisions that I had a time with was the tax structure, so proprietorship, LLC, that kind of thing. Also the exit plan. Um, that's something that, especially when you're starting, when I was starting, it was like, well, I really don't want to get out of this, but sometimes you need to, because sometimes you may just want to sell the business. And what are you going to do after that? So most of them were like administrative decisions, and that's what I had.
Love it, love it. So I love when you brought back the tax structure. Because let me tell you, I had Dr. Toya hit me up and she was like, yeah, you over there giving all this professional advice. You might want a disclaimer because you ain't none of them damn things as a licensed person. So y'all go back to the blog posts, you go back to all of them YouTubes, all of the TikToks, all of the Instagrams from last week, all of them got a disclaimer now. Shout out to Dr. Toya for reminding me, Superwoman, you ain't licensed to be Superwoman in these areas, okay? So yes, thank you, Dr. Toya. And look, I love the way you talked about your exit plan, Cheryl, because my exit plan is to be Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is old as shit and he's still out here creating new shit. It's so funny because somebody asked me what did my retirement look like, and I said Brian Tracy, and then I went to my Facebook, and guess what? He had a new thing going on. I was like, yep, that's gonna be me up there forgetting right before your eyes what I'm supposed to say, but pay me, pay me.
Amen. Amen.
Right.
I heard that.
All right. Thank you, Cheryl. Let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, if you are available, what are some business decisions that are hard for you to make or have been hard in the past?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, yes. Well, so this is funny because I actually was speaking with Shawana yesterday, and I talked about some of this, and then I was speaking with one of our the advisory board members. So I just let go the platform that was doing our Roku channel. Now I've had them for like a year at this point, even though we haven't been going for a year. I wanted to solidify and make sure everything they started working on things, but they are piss poor and terrible. Turrible. Terrible. And so it was difficult to let them go because I had spent so long trying to find a platform that would meet all the needs. And they're very specific things when it comes to those types of things. And I thought I had done enough research, settled on them, and look at them.
Yeah.
Absolute rubbish. And so, but because I had already started going, to pull the plug on that part of it was difficult. But as you start spending that same money every month and you have to keep calling them and it's ending up costing you more in time and wahala, then
Mhm.
it's time to let them go. So I actually last week just was like, yeah, no, we're finished.
Yeah.
So
So Dr.
that's
Ty,
it.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is this the same platform and tech that we talked about months ago? And I gave you an answer then. Do you remember what I immediately said?
Is it
It's,
the same?
I think it's the same one. Because remember, I told you, I said, I feel like everybody's watching on other
Oh,
channels.
yes, 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 yes. It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah. I immediately
Yeah.
was like, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And she even said, like, we've already invested in it. Yeah, you know what it remind me of? Relationships. When y'all trying to make that sorry ass man count for something because you invested all these sorry ass years. Yeah, nah, he's still sorry. Let him go. Let him go. So you looking at it as an investment, I'm looking at it as a waste. Did it give you what you needed? No. Let it go. Let it go. So I love that, Dr. Tachi, as an example. I love it. It's also an example of how I quickly be telling y'all, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm, no.
Absolutely. And really
I love
quick,
you, Dr. Tachi.
no, I know you don't. Anyway,
I do love you.
you do not. Anyway, but no, seriously, I know you do. But really quickly, so the thing is, it's good because it also makes you think about strategy. Because
Mm-hmm.
I already the whole thing is too, there's this whole trap that people fall into when it comes to this world and traditional television being the only thing that's salient, that it has to be on, as Black people like to say, TV,
Mm-hmm.
not TV, but TV. Okay, so but no, it's not. This is a new day and it's a new world, and it's like in order to get people think it's only your stuff is only important if it's somewhere on a hard television set. Most people that are the next generation are not watching TV, and the proof is that we've got like 16,500 subscribers now on YouTube. So I'm like, well, that's where I need to lean into because I already am
Exactly.
building that and built that from March. So
And guess where I watch it? On my TV
YouTube,
from YouTube.
exactly,
I mean, in this day and age, everybody got a smart TV. So
exactly.
every episode of my show, tonight at 8 o'clock, by the way. But every episode of my show, I watch live on the TV and I'm in the comments on my computer. But so I do watch on the TV, but it's on YouTube. So yep, most definitely. Cool beans. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Shawana, what are some decisions that are hard for you to make in your business if you don't have any current decisions? What are some past ones? And while she's thinking, we're over here in the YouTube live chat. Shantali said, yes, starting from your purpose, vision, mission, and values and goals. Every time you make a decision helps you stay in alignment with your brand consistently. Definitely. Thank you. Keith said, good morning. Kimberly left us in studio and went over here to YouTube. She says, morning. And then Shantali said, terrible, not terrible. Yeah, she said terrible. All right, Shawana, you got time to come off the mic and tell us about some decisions that are hard for you to make or that have been hard for you to make.
I definitely agree with what Cheryl has said earlier as it relates to the things, honestly, the things that you don't think about with the business and the structure of the business, especially if you're going it alone. So that is something that I had to go back and revisit to make sure all the T's were crossed and I's was dotted. But even as it relates to certain systems, like certain things as it relates to what is most important for the business, you've talked about it before, hiring tech before you hire people. So now even making a decision to then say, okay, people are needed at this point, as we talked about before. So it's not that it's hard, it's going through the ebbs and flows of finding the right people. So it's not that it's a hard decision, it's still me going through that curve of finding the right people. So yeah, it's not hard, it's still me with that. We're trying to find the right people to be able to do multiple things. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, finding those people that can do some of the things that I can do.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, what are some decisions that are hard for you to make or have been hard for you to make in your business?
I'll say that the decision to with the beauty part of my business, the decision to start out with a product like lashes that was more cosmetic. Even though I did it because they weren't toxic like a lot of the other stuff. I also had products like the face oil that I use that was more in alignment with like with the stuff that you put on your body like all the time. And so I should have started out with that. Even though I was advised to do something else, even though something else looked like it was more popular. That one was more sustainable for me, and that's the one that I ended up coming back to is like the feature product. And so that probably would have like saved me like a lot of headache in the months like after I launched that, even with spending a lot of money on marketing and all that stuff, because it would have been better spent on what I'm doing now as far as like that part of the business. So yeah, so that and then decisions like when to stop ads and all that stuff, because that's like a really hard decision to make when you run a an e-commerce based business. And so going forth, now that I have all that experience, even with my service side of my business, I like your framework and everything. But yeah, that probably is like the biggest, and then like smaller stuff like, okay, when to stop ads, because you can lose a bunch of money like on ads, and like when to hire different agencies and all that type of stuff. So yeah, so that'll be my answer.
Cool beans. I love that. So that your first obstacle, right, is all because it didn't start with clarity, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yesterday, what is your vision? If you had known what your vision was, you would have known to say no to whoever told you to start it that way. Or you would have been able to come in with that vision. They could have helped you to emphasize that vision, one of the two. So that was great to show that this is why this is building on each other this week, right? With the ads, what I'll tell you of what I know about ads, we're supposed to be monitoring ads and tweaking them, right? This is why we start with A/B testing and not just a single ad type of thing. So this is where we kind of bring in a different way of doing things. And guess what? Again, we make a decision based on budget. What is our budget for the ads, right? So maybe we don't start off with just our whole budget out there willy-nilly. We start off with a little part until we learn what we're doing. And then when we get something that works, then we push the whole rest of the budget behind what works, right? So I know that's what your experience has shown you now. When do you hire, right? When do you hire? When you need help, when you can't do it, when it can't just be you. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to focus on other things and somebody focus on something that doesn't have to be you. All of those things can be considered with when you hire. So thank you for that, Dr. LaFera. All right, so let me go back and catch Debbie before I go forward to Dr. Toya. Debbie, what are some decisions that have that are hard for you to make in your business or that have been historically hard in the past?
Okay. So this whole entrepreneurial life, just backing into it, the whole thing has been challenging, but I learn every day. So I'm going to piggyback off of what Shawana said about, you know, finding talent. I come from a space where everybody who did what they did were usually pretty good, very good at what they did. So I didn't have to think about it. I just, knew they were going to get it done. So now I'm in a space where people might say they can do will say they can do something, but they're not as at the level that I'm used to. So it's, just finding good people, understanding I am a big picture person, so I can envision what I want, but it's just putting the little pieces of it together. So every day I'm learning something, even when pricing, trying to figure out the pricing. Every client is not going to be my client. So I had to come to terms with that. So I just had, someone reject a proposal. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'm fine. To sit with it and be fine with it. It's like, all right, you're not my people. You're not the person. You're not my audience.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So I'm learning every day.
I love that. I see talent keeps coming up. So one thing I will say about you, Debbie, is at least you're not over there micromanaging, right? You're macro managing, which is that you just expect that they're going to get you what you're paying for. But even with macro managing, it's good that you're not hovering over them in the process. But with micromanaging, we can't get caught up in their duties, like the what they're supposed to do. We have to keep emphasizing the result, right? I need this. What you're doing should end up here, right? What you're doing should bring about this. You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep doing that so that that's what they're using as the measuring stick, getting the result. I don't want you, again, y'all know I love to use the appointment setter as the example for this. Yes, I want you to make 100 calls a day. That's great. But your job ain't just to make 100 calls a day. Your job is to get people that I can sell to. Okay. So yes, 100 calls a day, but let me give you more information. I need you to make 100 calls a day so that you can book 10 appointments a week so that at least one of those 10 appointments gains a sale. You see what I'm saying? So when I do it like that, that lets you know you can't even just do 100 calls a week. Or maybe I need more than one appointment setter. You see what I'm saying? So we have to look at the result, not just who's working the process and not just the process. We're married to getting this specific result, not to the specific process that either we put in place or that they have in place. No. So if you're not getting my result, it's always time for me to come back to the drawing board with you and say, hey, what else we're doing? Because what you're doing not working. So what else we're doing? Right?
That's true.
So we don't have to hover over them, but we do have to be vigilant in monitoring results. Cool beans.
Yes, I agree 100%. And seek help. Seek groups like this. You know, you got to get the information from somebody, someplace. And so be open to learning and growing and just, it's a process. So you're absolutely right. And I've learned to hire slow and fire fast. That's my new, that definitely. So everybody's on a test run now. So yeah.
Cool beans. Look, I hire fast and fire fast. Look, all of my shit fast. It's just fast. It's you. Come on. Because look, if you can pass it, if you are human with good sense, you can pass the interview. You know what I'm saying? And these people that are savants at resumes these days, I mean, let me go and hire you and see, because I can't tell from this anyway. So I have my own version of that, right? Before we go to Dr. Toya, let's get Keith over here on the YouTube side. He said, being a graphic designer is more than just colors and shapes. At Designs by Keith, I often grapple with tough business decisions, balancing creative freedom with client expectations. It's a constant challenge. Pricing my work fairly while staying competitive is another. These choices shape the future of my business, making it both exciting and demanding. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, Keith, is both of them is connected to the fact that you are seen as a commodity, okay, instead of a brand. When you look at something as a commodity, think about it. When you go in Walmart, you're just looking for the cheapest thing that will do the job, right? That's all you're looking for in Walmart. But if you go to the high-end store, you're looking for brand. You know what I'm saying? I know I want something with this name on it, right? I just don't know which one of their brands I want. So how you do that is you stop allowing them to compare you by you focusing on the value, okay? The value of the things you're doing as a graphic designer, right? So you can give examples of ugly logos versus a professional logo. You give the example of what anybody can do in Canva and what Keith can do as a professional, right? So you lean on your value, and what you will find is, as a part of that value that they can only get from you, you get that creative freedom back, and they understand why you're priced at what you're priced. So I hope that makes sense, Keith. Shantali said, I think some of the things I used to get stuck on were pricing and creating new services. This problem is easily solved with research, but I think the root of the challenge was mental or emotional. Yeah. So Shantali, first of all, what I'll say is double down on the services that you have versus creating new services. And your pricing is a direct reflection of your confidence. So as you get more evidence that you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about, and you can get these people the result that they're paying for, that price should go up. Okay. So, and then you use that proof as your testimonials and your case studies as to the value. So again, like I told Keith, now you're not a commodity, you're a value, because everybody can say they do what you do, but they don't have the proof. So the proof helps to back up what your price is. So I hope that was helpful to you. Keith came back and said, yes, it was helpful. Okay, cool beans. Let's go to Dr. Toya. Okay, Dr. Toya, do you have problems making decisions in your business, or have you in the past?
Well, I just want to say, I don't know if it's the Leo energy that's happening today, but everybody is on 10 and I
Leo
love
season.
it. Yes, I'm here for it. And I've had like a whole self-therapy session as we've gone through this particular episode today. So one thing I realized, speaking of unique value propositions, one of the things that I never emphasize, or that I don't even talk about, is that I'm a certified program evaluator. And I think that that's a really good thing, particularly as I try to get into business spaces and all of that stuff, to include in my marketing material. But what made me think of it was when you were going through the decision, like your steps for decision-making process. And it's like, while something is happening, like my mind automatic, like it's just programmed to essentially go through all of those steps, because it's just how I'm oriented. So there's that part. So then the areas where I have struggled with making decisions has been around technology. And this is where the therapy session has come in for myself. I have a self-narrative that I'm bad at technology, right?
Okay.
My ex-husband that was his thing, tech. So I never, anything tech, I was just like, nope, he got it. Never have to make a decision. Nope, he got it. So I've always created the narrative that I don't do technology. And so now in business, anytime a choice around technology comes up, because we live out the stories we tell ourselves, I live that story out every single time. I literally get paralyzed when it comes to technology. And so I just make all of the choices and then land in, you know what, we gonna learn through time or money. And I do both when it comes to technology, right? I'll be here forever and I'll spend a lot of money on it. So I realized I need to reframe my thinking and say, just like with everything else, I always make the next right choice when it comes to technology, so that I am not stuck in analysis paralysis when it comes to tech.
Yes, I love that. And you have a community. So you can always ask a question of the community. Hey, what are y'all using? I tried this, but this was my problem with it. What are y'all using? You see what I'm saying? So that's when you use your resources, your network, to help you to make the decision. So it's not just you. You still not just by yourself, right? So we understand ex-husbands, but you're still not by yourself. So you know, you got other tech people that are in the same, you know, trying to get stuff to do the same thing. Some of them are not having problems. So we want to know why you're not having a problem. You know what I'm saying? So use your network. So again, with the decision making, whether it's an area that you're used to having to make decisions or not, you can't rely on the fact that you used to didn't have to make it. Rely on the fact that now it's you. Now, with everything that I know and everything that I could do and everybody I have access to, now how do I make the best next decision? Because what we also know is, even though people are techies, especially when we get to men, they're not very detail oriented. So the tech they was choosing may not have been the best tech for you anyway. So you don't know what they was out there choosing. So let's calm down on the credit is what I'm gonna say. But yes, use your network. Use your network. And even he is still in the network. You know, we could ask. We're just not gonna ask too often. But your network. Ask your network. Because even some of the decisions he make, we might have a better one for that too. Is all I'm gonna say. So all I'm gonna say is, from what I've seen on the inside of your business, you good enough. How about that one? You get shit done. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. To Ray, when it comes to the business decisions, what are some of the ones that are hard for you to make or have been hard in the past?
What has been hard in the past for me has been pricing. You know what I mean? In the past. What I've learned since then, especially since, what was that? A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about listing all of my accomplishments.
Yes.
I took that and I ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I rediscovered some of my strengths in doing that exercise.
Yes.
I'm making this list. I'm like, I forgot that I had this. And you forget about your own skills and what you've accomplished from your past, because you don't, it's what you've done. You know what I mean? You don't think about it. But as I was, you know what I mean, making these lists of appearances I've made, I was listing my accomplishments, and I'm like, yo, I can use this in marketing. And so in what you were saying to Keith, I was like, it won't be hard for me to increase, you know what I mean, to present myself as a luxury brand and stand apart. Like, I don't even, like, whenever I present myself, there's no comparison. I don't have to compare. I'm differentiating myself because of all of the things. Because before it's like, oh, I'm a dating coach, I'm new to this. And then whenever I list all the things, I'm like, child, I ain't new to this at all. Like, I've been doing this and didn't even realize it. You know what I mean? Shay, you send me a lot of stuff in my inbox and I appreciate it. But just recently you sent me a video of a dating coach, and she's, very well versed. She's been doing it a lot, but what she does is completely different than what I do. And although I can take bits and pieces and see what she does, I'm like, wow, she doesn't do anything. Like, her audience is she's giving them something completely different. And every time I look at other dating coaches, I'm like, what I do is completely different, and there is an audience for what I do.
Yes.
Another thing that I wanted to say is that my group has been rocking with me for a year now. So they are prime for whatever I roll out. And I've been able to tweak what I give them based on what I know they need. Like, I've learned, like, my strategy a year ago is different now because of them, not because of what I think they need, but because of what I know they need. They've been in my inbox. I know what they need now. So now I can formulate a product. And at this point, whatever I say, hey, I'm rolling out this is how much it costs, they'll jump right on that because I know what they need now. I know what their pain points are. And so with that, I can charge whatever I want. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Just like your group, I'm looking at your group and how you do your thing. The core of us, whenever you roll out stuff, we're like, yep, where do I sign up? Where's the link? Where let me get my credit card. Like, you know what I mean? Because we rock with you and we know what we need from you and we know who you are. So it's the same. What'd you say?
Bofu.
Right, exactly. So that's what I noticed. My group is small, but the group that's in there, the people, the regulars, the ones who are in my inbox, you know what I mean? So it'll be easy to sell to them. But then whenever they start having transformation, once I get testimonials from them, then they'll be the ones who are talking about, what they've learned, and they're desperate for transformation. So it you know what I mean? The pricing thing I won't have as much of an issue with, is what I'm saying.
No, because they already like, know, and trust you. So
Right.
yeah, I love that. Over on YouTube, Dania is over here, y'all. Hey, Dania. She said, right now it's determining how much or how little to include in each package. I'm creating a tier system for each package, and I want to make sure each package reflects the value without burning out. So Dania, what I will tell you is, because I know that you're a perfectionist, because I know, and look, she done erased it. Too late, I already read it, Dania, sorry. My bad. What I will say, Dania, is because I know you personally. I know you give you over and above. What I'm going to say is you need to use the measuring stick of what is the goal of that package that they're buying? Where are you trying to get them to? And only include the things that will get them there. Stop including side stuff, extra stuff, what would be nice to have. Create a package that is just what they need for the result that you are promising them. Okay. And then that way, what happens is everything else you want to give becomes a bonus, becomes extra stuff that makes it an irresistible offer, but you're not burnt out because those things don't always have to be there. They're bonuses. That means you can retract them when you want to. You can not offer them when you want to, but get to the core of what are the steps to get them to the transformation that you are promising so that you can stay focused on just that transformation, right? So that's going to be the first part. She said, I said package too many times. Y'all see that perfectionism? She said package too many times in her sentence. And so she wanted to delete it and cut it out the deal. So again, like I said, I know you will. So pull out all that extra stuff that doesn't have to be done, that only have to be done because it's you, right? So I've had to do that a lot because that's how I am. I want to make sure that you go from A to B, but all along the way, you know, I have all these 8.5, you know what I'm saying, 8.7, you know what I'm saying? I got all this extra stuff that I'm putting in there to help you. But really what it does is distract you, right? So now I am versed in figuring out how do I get you from A to B without distracting you. And anything else is bonus. And I help you to understand that it's bonus. Like you don't have to go over here. To get where you need to go, stay right here. Even when I present it, it's not in the same areas as the things that you need. I always, like in cloud storage, there'll be a folder that says bonus so that you can know when you jump in there to get just what you need, the stuff that you didn't necessarily need is separated out, right? So yeah, focus on just what they need, Dania. And every package doesn't necessarily need a tier because sometimes our packagings are tiers in and of themselves. So look at that too, because tiering everything sounds like you're doing too much is what I'm gonna tell you. All right, y'all. Look, we ate past the hour. So let's jump into these announcements really quickly. And that is, if you want the morning show in your inbox, that means you can get a reminder to hop on YouTube in the mornings and in the early afternoon, around noon Eastern time, you will get in your inbox a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. Go to shaycannon.com/show. Sign up to get the talk show, the morning show in your inbox. Let's see, for tonight on the Indie Soup Network, which is Dr. Tachi's network, I have an amazing show called Design Your CEO Life, and episode 3 is premiering live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So jump on the Indie Soup Media YouTube channel, meet me in the live chat at 8 o'clock, and we will I will be in there, you know, having fun, joking around, answering questions in the live chat. So that is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the August community calendar will go out next week. Use this Zoom link even on Thursday, even though it's August 1st. That's for our in studio. If you want to be in studio, you have to be an active participant in our group. So join the group, shaycannon.info/group. All right. Black Business Month is coming for August. It's also my anniversary month. So I will be putting past workshops on sale and then presenting this August's workshop on next week. So those are the announcements. Let's see. Anything else happening? Dania said, got it. All right, guys, it's been a great day. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the executive function of delegating. All right, delegating. See you tomorrow. Studio is closing.